In the late 80s, Poison ruled MTV, but in 1990 they tried something new with Flesh and Blood, a more mature sound that surprised fans and critics alike. Let me start with some history. Poison started playing shows on the LA Sunset Strip, along with other bands like Motley Crue and a few others. In 1986, they released their debut album called Look What the Cat Dragged In, and it wasn't successful at first, but it eventually gained a following. It included hits like Talk Dirty to Me, another hard rocker called I Want Action, and a power ballad, I Won't Forget You. Then in 1988, they released their follow-up album called Open Up and Say Ah. This was their most successful album at the time. It featured the big hit, Nothing But a Good Time, another minor hit called Fallen Angel, and they also covered Loggins and Messina's Your Mama Don't Dance, similar to what Motley Crue had done with Brownsville Station. But they really hit it big with a power ballad that reached number one. It was called Every Rose Has Its Thorn.
But I guess that's why they say.
Now it's time for them to release their third album called Flesh and Blood, released on July 10th, 1990 through Enigma Records and Capitol Records. It peaked at number 2 and sold 7 million copies worldwide. Let's break down how Flesh and Blood signaled Poison's evolution. Flesh and Blood was still a very big album for them. It produced hits like Unskinny Bop, which reached number 3. Something to Believe In, which reached number 4. Ride the Wind and Life Goes On. I'll break down all of that later. The critics were mixed on this album despite the success. Some of the critics liked the growth of the radio-friendly hits, but others criticized the album because it leaned heavily into commercial trends. People also believed that this was the peak of their career, and they started going downhill after this. One of the ways that this band was maturing was that they had more of a polished production. The album was produced by Bruce Fairbairn at Little Mountain Studios. This was a big change from their debut album, which was very lo-fi and gritty, but Bruce Fairbairn was experienced because he worked with bands like Bon Jovi and Aerosmith. He was the guy behind all those hits from the two aforementioned bands. The album had lyrics that were more emotional and introspective. For example, the two power ballads, Something to Believe In and Life Goes On, were a big departure from their previous songs that were all about partying and getting girls and all that stuff. There's also one song which is a tribute to a person the band worked with who passed away, which I'll get to pretty soon. The band also started to incorporate more blues rock and southern rock. It wasn't just party rock. There were songs like Poor Boy Blues, which had this bluesy southern rock sound, and a few other songs like that. The lyrics were also more serious. The album still had party anthems like Unskinny Bop, but they had some mature songs like Life Loves a Tragedy and Ball and Chain, which talked about more serious subjects like betrayal and struggles in society. I think the most popular song was Unskinny Bop, which was a hit. People often discuss the song because the lyrics are really hard to understand. I tried to research it as much as possible, but I couldn't find a clear answer. The song was written by all 4 members of the band. The song has suggestive lyrics like Unskinny Bop just blows me away, and You Say My Love Won't Do You, but it's hard to say exactly what Unskinny Bop is. I think we can agree that it's a bit flirtatious. I remember when the song first released, I think I saw the debut on MTV's Headbangers Ball. Bret Michaels said that Unskinny Bop was written quickly and without much thought during rehearsals for the Flesh and Blood tour. He said that the phrase Unskinny Bop was more about capturing a fun, rhythmic feel than conveying a specific meaning. The band wanted to write a song that was catchy and energetic. The title was a fun and memorable hook, not a literal concept. Then there was the song Something to Believe In. It was a big departure from their party anthems. Lines like, there's a man in the soup line, he's looking for something to believe in. This addresses poverty and despair, while I lost a friend, I'm still searching for something to believe in, conveys a feeling of personal grief. Then there's the chorus, give me something to believe in, which made the song universally relatable as an anthem for those facing adversity. The song had a deeper meaning. It was a tribute to James Kimo Maano, who was killed in a car accident in 1990. He was one of the band's security guards, and Bret Michaels was really affected by his death. In interviews, Bret Michaels described the song as a tribute to Mano, reflecting on how life can be fragile and how people need to find purpose. Something to Believe In follows the classic power ballad structure. It's a soft, introspective verse building to a soaring, anthemic chorus with a climactic guitar solo and emotional vocal delivery. The song starts with a soft piano riff played by a session musician, John Webster. It got some gentle acoustic guitar strums in the background. Bret Michaels' voice is the star of the show, telling a story over a minimal instrumentation. This allowed the lyrics' emotional weight to really shine. Then there was the chorus, which was a strong anthemic hook with layered vocals, electric guitars, and hard driving drums. The song also changes when the middle bridge brings in this gospel-inspired vocal harmony, followed by a melodic guitar solo by CeCe DeVille. It's a departure from the flashier shredding of Poison's up-tempo tracks. The song ends with a repeat of the chorus, which reinforces its message of hope and resilience. This was also the second single from the album. It reached number 4 in the charts and was played a lot on MTV. The music video was directed by Wayne Isham, a famous rock video director. The video mixes black and white images of social issues like homeless people and war with color shots of the band playing in a church-like setting. This highlights the song's spiritual and emotional themes. The video's serious tone was a change from Poison's usual flashy style, showing how they changed and they adapted and they were evolving their sound and image. Another standout track was called Ride the Wind. It was a high-energy single, blending their glam roots with a more polished sound. The song is a celebration of freedom, rebellion, and the rock and roll lifestyle. It has lyrics like Hearts of Fire, Riding on the Wind, and We're on the Run, We're on the Highway, evoking a sense of living fast, chasing dreams, and embracing the open road. It's perfect for cruising on the highway. On the surface, Ride the Wind is about a carefree, rebellious spirit of youth and rock culture, with motorcycles and the open highway serving as metaphors for freedom and adventure. It also reflects the band's own journey during the Flesh and Blood era, as they navigated fame, internal tensions, and the pressure to evolve their sound while staying true to their roots. Ride the Wind tapped into the late 80s, early 90s glam metal fascination with freedom and rebellion. It was similar to songs like Bon Jovi's Born to Be My Baby or Motley Crue's Kickstart My Heart. Its motorcycle imagery resonated with the era's romanticized view of the open road, a staple in rock culture. Wayne Isham directed the music video, which shows the band on stage with footage of motorcycles racing through landscapes. This fit with Poison's flashy MTV-driven image. The video got a lot of airplay on MTV, which made the song more popular, but it didn't do as well as the other singles I was talking about commercially. The song starts with a strong palm muted guitar riff by CeCe DeVille, setting a fast-paced, energetic tone. Ricky Rocket's drum hits establish the song's driving rhythm in the intro. The verses feature Bret Michaels' charismatic vocals over a steady rhythm section. The guitar and bass are keeping a tight groove going. The chorus is the heart of the song. The hook, Ride the Wind, Never Coming Back Again, is sung in a way that's both powerful and catchy. The song also features layered backing vocals and power chords which amplify its arena rock appeal. A short bridge slows the pace slightly, building tension before CeCe DeVille's guitar solo, which is melodic yet energetic, showcasing his technical skill while staying true to the song's uplifting vibe. The song closes with a repeated chorus, fading out with the band's high-energy performance. Ride the Wind reached number 38 on the Billboard Hot 100, making it less successful than the other two singles I was talking about, but still a notable hit. The song was also a staple of the Flesh and Blood tour. I want to talk about one more song, that is Life Goes On. This is another power ballad and the fourth single released from the album. It showcases the band's evolution towards a more mature, emotionally resonant sound while retaining their glam metal roots. Bret Michaels has spoken in interviews about drawing from personal experiences of heartbreak. The music video, directed by Wayne Isham, features a mix of band performance footage and narrative elements, with Bret Michaels reflecting on a lost love. The video's moody, cinematic style with soft lighting and introspective visuals contrasts with Poison's typically flashy aesthetic, emphasizing the song's emotional weight. The video got a lot of airplay on MTV, showing that Poison can do both heartfelt ballads and party anthems. The song starts with a soft arpeggiated guitar line and some subtle keyboard textures, creating a reflective mood. Bret Michaels' vocals come in gently, setting in a thoughtful mood. The verses are pretty simple, with just a few instruments, letting Bret Michaels' lyrics really stand out. The rhythm section keeps it simple to focus on the story. The chorus hits the spot with the line, "Life goes on, it just doesn't stop for no one." There's also layered vocals, electric guitars, and drums that come together to create a sing-along moment ideal for live performances. The bridge builds tension with introspective lyrics, leading to a melodic guitar solo by CeCe DeVille. The song ends with a repeated chorus. The song also peaked at number 35 on the Billboard Hot 100, making it less successful than the other singles I was talking about, but still a notable hit. Its chart performance was driven by how well it resonated with people and its exposure on MTV. Finally, I want to talk about the album cover, which is one of the most iconic elements of the album. The cover showcases the Poison logo and the album title, Flesh and Blood, styled as a tattoo on drummer Ricky Rocket's arm. The design was credited to artists including Gil the Drill Monte. The cover became iconic among fans, with many reportedly getting similar tattoos as a tribute to Poison. The cover art was also part of Poison's deliberate move to shed their earlier glam metal image. It was a desire to be taken more seriously. Despite this, the album cover was controversial due to its original design, which was deemed too graphic for some markets and led to changes in subsequent pressings. The original album cover, used for the initial pressing in Japan, depicted the tattoo with inflamed red skin and dripping ink or blood, giving the appearance of a fresh, raw tattoo. This graphic imagery was intended to emphasize the album's gritty, intense themes, but was considered too provocative by some retailers and parental groups. The depiction of blood or ink was seen as too graphic in the early 90s, when parental adversary groups and media watchdogs were scrutinizing rock and metal album covers for explicit content. Due to the controversy, the original bloody cover was removed from all subsequent pressings, including later releases in Japan. The revised cover toned down the inflamed, bloody appearance, opting for a cleaner, less graphic version of the tattoo. Let me know your thoughts on the album Flesh and Blood. Check out this video I did on their next album, where there were a lot of internal struggles, which led to the introduction of a new guitar player. In the meantime, thanks for watching. Please like the video. It helps me with the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe if you're not already. I do rock and metal reviews, rankings, and more. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one.